Good morning, everybody, for Monday, the 2nd of August. Sorry, a couple of minutes late as we get ready for the aforementioned runway repairs. So, over the country today, well, we've got a bit of an odd picture because if you look at the synoptic chart, you would go, well, it'll get brighter, it'll get nice and sunny, but there's something odd going on at the moment, especially in the south of the UK. It looks like a trough line that has not been put on the charts, and you can see it. Something resembling that on the analysis at midnight, but yes, what would appear to be fairly slack southeasterly flow, almost in a bit of a coal at the moment, more than anything else. August remains very unsettled, sort of usable tomorrow and Wednesday as this front continues to just be pushed off by this very weak high pressure. But I know come Thursday, we're looking at another very unseasonable low. So yes, I can sort of see what they're saying, that there is some evidence that climate change is already here. Those winds, I said south, oh, that's not quite as it should be. Maybe that's because the chart is, yeah, look at that. The chart is very indecisive as well. I was saying southeasterly flow, that's showing a westerly flow. Useful, isn't it? We'll have a look at that in a bit more detail because that does not go along with a lot of the forecasts that I've seen. But generally in our area, we'll just put it down as variable at 5 knots with a surface wind more easterly. But you can see here in the channel it's saying westerly, which is not quite what they said. Here's that sort of expanding sort of weird trough line or a little bit of low pressure, which we're sort of sat right under. Portsmouth has been flooded in parts this morning, and I don't think that was particularly forecast to that degree. Elsewhere up into East Anglia and up into sort of the north, it's looking quite nice, and I think they'll get a nice day out of it. And this is why you can see the public forecast. If you looked at this last night, you would not have seen this amount of rain on it. And I'm still very skeptical that we'll actually see this amount of rain when we get these sort of strange sort of low pressure slash troughs which come out of nowhere. Quite often the Met Office will chuck rain on the charts and actually it's all right for most of the day, but 10 miles down the road it'll be rubbish. But here you can see those sort of easterly winds to southeasterly winds, which are going to be what's going on the ground, which is different obviously what's going on in the air. So there's a lot of uncertainty certainly within this forecast, which I'm trying to pin down, which doesn't really help when we're trying to operate a little bit differently due to runway works. But yes, we probably are going to see some showers. There is some orographic cloud nearby. I think we're just going to have to see and look out the window really at this and see where it's going. Top temperature today, probably of about 17 or 18 degrees. We might see a little bit more if we get a bit more sunshine. Dew points, well, it really depends how close we get to that, get to those sort of rain cells, because it could either be reasonably nice and there's a good split, or it might not be. And here is that sort of thundery sort of or unseasonable trough. You can just see it's all in a line that goes out towards France. I imagine if we just play it, you can see it doesn't move particularly, which is the problem. So yeah, some would say it's probably going eastwards, but yeah, again, something we need to watch. Currently at Lasham, we have a temperature of 13, not a hashtag, and a dew point of 11, and that's the picture outside. Farnborough is reporting no cloud detected, which would make sense. But you can see here that there's some sort of uncertainty saying that, yeah, we could have some sort of orographic cloud until about this briefing time, and the increased chance of showers. Odium has an even longer one, saying scattered at 1,000 feet, which I think is quite accurate to what may happen outside. There you go again, you can see rain showers, temporary scattered. There's just so much uncertainty in this one, and you can see a few clouds at 400 feet but broken at 7, so almost flyable but almost not. And you can see that David's had to have a look at this again. Last night when I read it, it looked fairly optimistic and that we'll probably get a nice soaring day out of it, but looking at this again, it's complicated, and as he speaks about with the trough there. So Yes, interesting to say the least, but hopefully a bit better Tuesday, Wednesday. Have a look, just quick look at top meteo. So if I'm honest, my bet is top meteo will not accurately portray what's going on. Well, almost. Yeah, it's say you can just see that better weather it's expecting to the east. If we start, let's just see if it's showing what it should be doing at the moment. Ish. But you can see, well, if things improve and we can get rid of this sort of trophy thing, then we might get cumulus of about 3,500 feet. But you can see it's going to be interspersed with showers. So again, top meteo not wanting to go into too much detail there, but I mean, you can see central London gets 1,800 metre cloud base eventually, but say that line could be further west or further east. It really depends on the day like today. So yeah, to sum up, unsettled, uncertain. Okay, couple of NOTAMs. Fairford's active all day, probably still RAF training at the moment because Bryce Norton's runway's bust. See, you could be in a worse place if we're talking about runway repairs, if I'm honest. They've had huge restrictions on what they've been able to do, and they were closed almost for a week. So yeah, a couple of problems here is not something that I'm particularly concerned about. Soden and Farnborough active as usual, usual sort of discussions about the danger areas. I'll just check about the Keevil danger area. I thought that was going to return, but maybe not today. It's got one last hurrah before they get rid of it. Let's have a look. Nope, that's 3rd of August. So no Keevil today. They are not active as far as I'm concerned. Okay, right, let's go to the other presentation again. Shooting for a special one. Runway repairs, right. So spent almost the last week trying to jig things around. I appreciate some of you are not immediately happy with the first plan, so I'm trying to come up with other plans once we have the contractors in position, because until I know that, until they're there, I have no idea exactly where the work's going to need to be done, how long it's going to take, and everything. So I've got a couple of plans here, which may or may not be used in order to try and mitigate it. So the first is the most easiest. Would be in the morning, we operate air-to only with 09 in use. And you can see the runway would not be used for any takeoffs or landings. And you can see the area where that runway repair is due. The one on the threshold of 09 is less likely to be used. With this, circuits would be left and right hand, and you can tow the buggy across the runway. But absolutely, if there is contractors on the runway, there'll be there is no landings of anything on there. Otherwise, there will be hell to pay. Another option, it might be the afternoon, we might be able to do it a little bit earlier, is we have a short winch run, potentially just by the tower to about near where the pan is. Yep, you're only going to get 1,000 feet, 1,100 feet out of that. But that might be another option to get some winching going, but it must be safe for the contractors. They do not come here to dodge winch cables or gliders. So bearing in mind that they are here, if we can just make sure that we're giving them a wide berth where we can. Obviously, they're expecting area tows to go past, and they won't have too much problem with a winch if we set it up correctly. But I can't set the winch at the end of the runway and just hope the cables avoid them. So yeah, that's why today is so tricky. It is obviously outside of our control, but it's of absolute importance we have runway works, because without it, we will not have tenants paying us rent. so yes, but hopefully it'll be done sooner rather than later. The third plan, which is we might operate 1.6, but I think at the moment we take it that 09 is in use, unless I find that the wind stops spinning around and it's wanting to put us on 2.7, but I think that's unlikely given what it's suggesting. But yes, so a few options there, but the main thing to take away, please, 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 even if it's clear, do not land on the runway. Once we have got the runway back, then I'll move the Ultra back to the runway and we'll get started. When will that be? I do not know. The contractors don't know, because they've got to look at the work and work out how deep they have to dig to do this work. So yes, as I said, lots of uncertainty today, whether it's the weather or if it's the effort operation, but we'll find some way to fly, and I'm fairly confident we will find some way to winch at some point later today. It just will not be immediate. Okay, I think that's enough from me. Let's see how we get on, and let's hope that we have a little bit more certainty later in the week. Bye for now.